breaking news, an ancient 5-second Japanese appetizer that researchers from UCLA, Stanford, and Johns Hopkins have found activate a primal enzyme to immediately put your body in weight loss overdrive, melting pounds of fat per week without changing your diet, without exercising, and without drinking detox teas or fasting. Plus, it naturally unites your metabolism to become so much faster and more efficient that all of your favorite foods just get burned up, like jet fuel. Everything from bread, pizza, pasta, to burgers and ice cream. Yes, you may be feeling skeptical, and you should be. Yet, as unbelievable as it sounds, this is all possible with an oddly simple and perfectly safe 5-second Japanese appetizer that you can eat at home right now. In this short letter, you'll be shocked to discover what whistleblowing doctors and scientists from top universities have proven to be the hidden root cause of your slow metabolism and excess belly fat, which has nothing to do with your diet, hormones, your gut, or anything else that they have made you believe. Instead, it's all down to this primal fat-burning enzyme, because it's specifically responsible for breaking down the carbs you eat and turning them into fat. When you're young, you have low levels of this enzyme, so you can eat whatever you want and still be hot. But Japanese researchers just published a landmark study that proves that with age, your levels of this enzyme goes up, which makes you gain all this weight, meaning at this moment it's impossible to keep that off your body with any kind of diet or exercise. But fear not. The solution is so simple and easy it may anger you. This 5-second Japanese appetizer has been handed down from generation to generation by the residents of an exotic Japanese city where some of the leanest and healthiest people on earth live. That's because it targets and dissolves inches of your body's deepest, most stubborn fat stores that always felt immune to dieting and exercise. And not just from one place like your thighs, but every corner of your entire body as you get slimmer, firmer, and smoother, at the same time supporting a new, healthier heart, brain, blood sugar, and blood pressure, and saving the health and lives of my wife, myself, and over 136,000 mothers, fathers, and grandparents from 10 to 100 pounds overweight who have tried paleo, Zumba, and every other diet or exercise program. My high school best friend, Tiana J., 56, dropped 34 pounds of fat, going from this, her bloated belly flopping over her belt buckle, to this, her pre-baby figure that radiates energy and playfulness. My maid of honor, Jamie L., dropped nearly 8 dress sizes, going from this, feeling trapped and suffocated by her belly fat, to this, and now slips effortlessly into clothes in her 20s. And my sister, Nancy W., who struggled with weight problems after having her 3rd child, used this simple solution to drop all the extra 73 pounds she was carrying from her 3 pregnancies, going from this, full of anxiety, depression, and fighting with her husband all the time, to this, feeling totally free, confident, and in control, and reigniting the passion in her marriage once again. Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, and I see messages like these flooding in every day from folks that are in pure joy after just weeks of putting this 5-second Japanese appetizer to the test for themselves, and just as it worked for them. How will you look and feel when it works for you? Imagine never worrying again about how your weight is destroying your health, or how you look in a swimsuit, a tight dress, or even naked, or the silent judgment of skinny girls when you order what you actually want at a restaurant. Instead, You'll enjoy all of your favorite foods and carbs whenever you want, totally guilt-free. You'll be at your perfect weight, and you'll look and feel amazing in whatever clothes you're wearing, including those sexy outfits you never dreamed of slipping into before. Within a few weeks, you'll start to look younger as the glow and elasticity of youth returns to your skin and body. And here's the best part of all. Because this 5-second Japanese appetizer targets the biological root cause of your belly fat, once the fat's gone, it's gone forever. So no more losing and gaining the same 10 pounds over and over, or how slim you'll be in 1 month or 1 year from now. But that's just the beginning. This 5-second Japanese appetizer also eliminates dangerous inflammation, making you look and feel 5, 10, even 20 years younger. What's more, it naturally floods your body with pure all-day energy. It naturally strengthens your immune system, fights off disease and brain fog, improves sleep and memory, and gives you back the sex drive and zest for your life you had in your 20s. Plus, it supports a much healthier heart, cholesterol levels, blood pressure, and gives you complete control of your health, your weight, your appearance, and your quality of life. Now, I know how unbelievable all this may sound to you right now, but just keep watching, because it doesn't matter if you're 25 or 75. If you have from 10 pounds or 100 pounds to lose, if you've suffered from excess weight or a slow metabolism your whole life, or if your body has just gradually betrayed you as the years have passed by, I can absolutely guarantee you that this works for you. And I can absolutely guarantee this 5-second Japanese appetizer is so much healthier, so much simpler, so much easier, and so much more effective than anything you've ever seen or heard of before. All I ask is that you give me a few moments to prove it to you. I'll be sharing all of the peer-reviewed studies from the top universities, along with the breathtaking real-world results that back up everything I'm saying about how and why this works so well. Like I said, my name is Lauren Wilson. I live in a small town near Charlotte, North Carolina, together with my husband and my daughter, Jessica. I'm not a doctor, nutritionist, or personal trainer. In fact, I'm just an average, hardworking American mom and a proud nurse practitioner. It's a job where every detail matters, and where I see the devastating effects of being overweight in real time, not just for overweight men or women, but for their family. So you can imagine my surprise when, despite following all the information I was taught in nursing school and everything we tell our patients to do, I kept gaining weight and couldn't lose it no matter what I tried. But it wasn't just affecting me, it was slowly killing my daughter. Like most moms, my pregnancy weight stuck around. 10 pounds turned into 30 pounds, until one morning I woke up and realized I was wrapped in 57 pounds of saggy belly fat. The same 57 pounds that led me to being stared at any time I put on a bathing suit. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was the person I was becoming. I went from being social, fun, and outgoing to introverted, depressed, and miserable. And I was angry all the time, you know? Every time I looked in the mirror naked, I would shriek with horror, watching as my fat clung to me like melted ice cream. I knew it was getting bad when I started to have trouble at work walking to different rooms when examining patients. And when I raced over just a few doors down, I was completely out of breath. I knew something had to change. So I went to see one of the doctors at the hospital I trusted. I wasn't surprised when he said, "Lauren, you need to lose this weight now. Your blood pressure is dangerously high, and you're at serious risk of a heart attack." He recommended going on the keto diet and doing some exercises, which only made things worse, because after a few weeks of successful weight loss, I would pack it all back on twice as fast, which is maybe something that you can relate to. You work so hard to lose a few pounds, skipping dessert and doing endless hours of exercise only to end up 10 pounds heavier after all your hard work. Or maybe you starve yourself and don't eat for a few days at a time, only to binge eat and start the vicious weight-gaining cycle all over again. I did all those. But even though this evil weight roller coaster almost caused me to give up, it was also the key to discovering the 5-second Japanese appetizer that would wipe out 57 pounds of my belly fat. Things continued to spiral out of control every time I rebounded with my weight. My husband stopped caring for me. Our sex life disappeared, putting our marriage on life support. And my 13-year-old daughter, she stopped eating her food. She'd come home with half-eaten lunches, push dinner away, and throw a full tantrum whenever we were going out to dinner. I hadn't noticed how much weight she lost until she came home from her daily run. She'd been running a lot lately, almost every day in fact. My heart dropped when she walked in the door. She looked sickly thin and pale. I asked her if everything was all right, only to give me the classic 2-word teenager answer, "I'm fine." But as I looked closer, I could see her struggling even to walk. "Honey, maybe you should eat something. How about I whip you up a sandwich?" And what she said next broke my heart. "A sandwich? No one here needs more carbs, Mom. I don't want to end up looking like you." I was so stunned I couldn't even speak. And then my world turned upside down because my daughter, looking like a ghost, collapsed, hitting her head against our kitchen table. Blood started gushing everywhere, pooling around her head. I rushed over to help her, scrambling between deep breaths and tears, wondering, did my belly fat cause this? I called 911 and I prayed to God for a miracle. I couldn't lose my baby girl. Next thing I knew, we were in the hospital with my daughter on life support. When the doctor came to give me an update, "Lauren, you're lucky you got here in time. Another hour and Jessica might have been gone. She's dangerously malnourished." My whole world shattered right there. Not only was this disgusting belly fat destroying my marriage and my life, but it put my daughter in the hospital and almost killed her. Enough was enough. I was going to do everything I can to figure out the weight loss puzzle or die trying. If not for me, for my daughter's sake. I spent the next few months researching online, visiting libraries, and consulting with medical experts, but uncovered nothing new, just the same old advice of eat less and exercise more. And every expert seemed to contradict themselves. One would swear by keto, others would say it causes heart disease, others would say it's just about exercise, and some would promote special fat-burning pills like Garcinia cambogia or raspberry ketones, only to say these things didn't work 6 months later. It was all so very confusing, which was no help to people like me or the countless others who were struggling. I felt like I'd hit a brick wall. And after hundreds of hours of research, I was no further forward. I didn't know where to turn. Sadly, I was close to giving up. But that night, I looked over at my daughter's half-eaten plate of food and remembered that night in the hospital when I almost lost her. That filled me with new energy and drive. I prayed to God that night, like I did every night, begging for an answer. And what happened next is nothing short of a miracle, which is how I knew He heard my prayers. The next morning, I was working at the hospital. It was a typical busy morning and I was strapped for time, so I went to the cafeteria to grab breakfast. I was about to order my usual keto-friendly lettuce egg wrap when behind me a slender Japanese woman in a lab coat orders 2 chocolate chip muffins. I thought she was the typical thin, fast metabolism type of woman. I'm sure you know the type. But I couldn't have been more wrong. The truth was, she had a weight loss secret that would change the course of my entire life and help me get to the real root cause of my weight gain and erase all 57 pounds of my stubborn fat. The next day I came back for breakfast and ordered the same lettuce-wrapped egg sandwich, only to see her again, but this time she got 2 butter croissants with jam. Before she took her first bite, she swallowed what looked like a little white vitamin. This went on for a few weeks. She would stuff her face with the most delicious carbs ever: chocolate-dipped donuts, flaky butter croissants, wild blueberry muffins, you name it. And before every delicious, sugary bite, she would have her appetizer, a little white vitamin. Weeks went by, and I could have sworn she lost weight. I was floored. I had to know her secret. Did she run all the time? Was she lucky and born with a fast metabolism? And what was that white vitamin she was taking every day before she ate? I'm not sure what came over me, but one morning I was super stressed. So when she proceeded to order the new cinnamon swirl blueberry muffin for breakfast, I snapped and asked her quite loudly, "What is your secret? I see you here every day eating the most delicious, fattening food, and yet you're slim and healthy. It's so unfair." She looked at me stunned and then told me to come sit down with her. At the table, she took her white vitamin, then unwrapped her warm cinnamon swirl blueberry muffin and took a massive sugary-filled bite. Then what she said next absolutely blew me away. So pay very close attention because it's going to change your life. She told me her name was Nina Suzuki, and she was an obesity biochemist at the hospital who specifically studied human metabolism and why carbs make us fat. She took another massive bite of her muffin, cinnamon sugar sticking to her chin, and pulled out a photo of a rather large woman. "This used to be me," she said. I was shocked. This woman must have been close to 300 pounds, and the woman sitting in front of me was maybe 120 pounds soaking wet. "What changed?" I asked. She went on to explain a lot of the human metabolism in very sciencey terms, but thankfully as a nurse, I was used to translating science speak between doctors and patients. Nina first became interested in the real root cause of weight loss after her now ex-boyfriend cheated on her with another skinnier woman. It was heartbreaking and a story I hear too often. Honestly, I was a bit worried my own husband was straying. He barely paid me any attention anymore. After the breakup, Nina made it her mission to uncover the obesity code during her second year as a biochemist. She saw an interesting randomized clinical trial from Harvard researchers. In the study, scientists took 811 participants and broke them up into 4 groups, each with a different diet. Some ate a lot of carbs, others ate 0 carbs. After 2 years, no matter what diet they ate, their weight was the same. And if you think about it, it makes sense. We all know women who swear by the keto diet to lose weight, while others stuff their face with carbs to achieve the same result. So what makes the difference? Why can some people eat pizza, cake, and fries and wake up skinnier, while others like me, and maybe even you, scarf down salad, starve ourselves, and exercise with colorful resistant bands only to wake up 5 pounds heavier? And then Nina revealed the weight loss secret that would change everything. In the human body, you have a specific enzyme called amylase, which is the real hidden master switch behind your stubborn weight. When you eat carbs, let's say a piece of toast, amylase breaks down those carbs into easy-to-absorb chunks, and the more amylase your body produces, the more you can break down those carbs. Normally, that's a good thing, because in order for the carbs and nutrients to be absorbed by your cells, they actually need to be broken down. The problem occurs when your body produces too much of the amylase enzyme, because everything you eat starts to get broken down. And when this happens, research shows your body goes into fat storage mode. So if you've been wondering why it seems like everything you ate, especially all of your favorite foods, seems to stick to your waistline like glue, it's because you have high amylase levels that are storing all your favorite foods like pizza, pasta, and cookies as belly fat. Then Nina asked me a series of questions to confirm whether or not I have too high amylase levels. Are you over 30? Research published in the National Institute of Medicine shows that your body produces more amylase as you age. Do you frequently snack or feel the need to snack? Is it hard for you to say no to dessert and pastries? Do you feel like you gain weight whenever you eat carbs? Do you find it difficult to stick with a diet? If you do lose weight on a diet, do you find yourself rebounding soon after? If you answered yes to any of the questions above, like I did, then chances are your amylase levels are too high, making it impossible to lose weight no matter how healthy you eat or how much you exercise. Now that you know, you've got really two options. Option 1, stop eating carbs. That means no more birthday cake, no more pasta, no more pizza. It means planning your day around where your next chicken salad or lettuce wrap is going to come from, and then doing this for the rest of your life. Because the moment you slip up, which happens to all of us, your body will be primed to turn all those carbs into saggy fat that drapes off your waistline. Maybe you've already experienced this for yourself. Thankfully, there's a second option. It's the smarter and, frankly, easier route. See, the real difference between my skinny girlfriends and me was not the food or carbs they were eating or the exercise that they weren't doing, but the reason they could gobble down whatever they wanted, like flaky croissants, ooey gooey chocolate cake, and piping hot pepperoni pizza every single day, and stay fit, skinny, and healthy, is because they had amylase in normal levels. So, if you want to reclaim that tight, firm body of your youth, the one that radiates beauty and turns heads as you walk in a room, the one that allows you to eat anything you want and not feel guilty about it, you need to get to the root of the issue, reducing your amylase levels to a normal, healthy amount, a sweet spot where you're still healthy and doing your body good, but not gaining weight like a bear in winter. Well, I sat back stunned. I remember reading about amylase in nursing school, but never like this. So I asked Nina, how do you lower your amylase levels? This has been Nina's main focus for the past 2 years. In fact, she was doing her entire PhD thesis on this. It took many sleepless nights, years of trial and error, and each time she'd hit a wall, she'd start over. Eventually, she had a breakthrough that would change the lives of thousands of women just like you and me. And it comes from one of the weirdest places. Nina discovered the answer to lowering your amylase levels at her grandma's kitchen table back in Okinawa, Japan. See, even though Nina's family ate tons of rice, dessert, and sweet treats, they were all healthy and skinny. But it wasn't just them. As Nina spent more time in Japan, she noticed the entire population was like that. So Nina went digging through hundreds of scientific papers trying to figure out what made the Japanese so special and how they could stay so thin despite eating so many sugary foods. She stayed up late nights trying to crack the code. After thousands of hours of research, she felt like she'd hit a dead end. At dinner that night, she was talking to her grandma, only to discover the answer had been right under her nose. The most popular food among the Japanese is called the green heart of Okinawa. They eat it at every meal as an appetizer, either raw as a tea or in soup, and research shows that it's credited with keeping the Japanese healthy and fit into their 80s, 90s, and even past 100 years old without diet or exercise. As Nina looked closer at the research, she could finally see why. Research shows this exotic food contains special nutrients that lowers your amylase levels back to normal. In one study from Practice for General Medicine, folks who were given one of these amylase blockers lost up to 89% more weight than the placebo group, and 70% of those subjects were able to maintain their weight loss without having to make any dietary restrictions. Amazing, right? Another study from UCLA School of Medicine, 27 subjects were split into 2 groups. One group was given a placebo, and the other was given an amylase blocker. And after only 8 weeks, the subjects given the amylase blocker lost 127% more weight than the placebo group. And what's even more shocking is that the people who ate the most carbs saw the most weight loss and the greatest reduction in waist size. There are dozens of studies showing a direct connection between these amylase blockers and shrinking waistlines. The real secret to sustainable weight loss without going on some weird restrictive diet is to return your amylase levels to normal levels. It's that simple. I had never had weight loss explained to me so clearly, but it made perfect sense. I looked at Nina across the lunch table and I said, "Where can I get this exotic Japanese food?" Unfortunately, it's not sold in America. Nina tried to import it herself, but it was confiscated at the border. Like my failed dieting, I felt like I'd hit a dead end, and I was worried I'd never become the role model my daughter could look up to. But that's when Nina turned my world upside down. You don't need the Japanese food. You only need what's inside it, the amylase-blocking nutrients. Nina told me she spent the past year looking far and wide for other foods that contained the best amylase-blocking nutrients and consulted with the world's leading biology experts from around the world, which is when she pulled out her little bottle of white vitamins and handed them to me. These were the same white pills I'd seen her taking before every meal. I asked her what was inside, and Nina said, "These pills are a special combination of 4 of the most powerful amylase-blocking nutrients in the exact doses used in the clinical studies with the most weight loss results. I want you to take them as an appetizer before every meal for the next 30 days. I couldn't help but think about my daughter, how she almost died because of my flabby belly, and I felt more determined than ever to lose my 57 pounds of nagging, jiggly fat. I took the pills and thanked Nina, and the next day I started my new routine. For lunch, instead of a salad, I got my favorite Italian dish, a big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs. I sat down, and before I took my first bite, I pulled out one of Nina's little white pills. And before I took it, I hesitated, thinking about all my past failures and how nothing I had tried would work. I almost threw out the bottle, but then I remembered the night before, watching my daughter go upstairs in the bathroom and shut the door and turn on the faucet so I couldn't hear her vomit. And that's when I decided I would do anything to help my daughter. I swallowed Nina's 5-second appetizer pill and went on to devour a gigantic plate of saucy spaghetti and meatballs. For some reason, it was the most delicious plate I've ever eaten, bringing me back to my honeymoon in Italy 20 years ago, where I ate pasta and drank wine every day and stayed skinny. I did the same thing for dinner, taking one of Nina's white pills before eating. The next morning, I woke up excited to jump on the scale, and I was down 1/2 pound. Not much, but it was a start. Every day, I took 1 capsule of Nina's amylase-blocking formula before every meal. I started ordering whatever Nina was eating: cinnamon French toast for breakfast, a delicious sandwich for lunch, and pasta or pizza for dinner. It was heaven. But there's no way this could work, right? We've been told our whole lives that carbs are the devil. When I weighed myself 7 days later, something magical happened. I was down 4.5 pounds. Amazing! Still, I'd been on this path before with the keto diet, where I'd lose a bunch of weight only to quickly gain it all back after. But that skepticism vanished. When I weighed myself on day 14, I was down 11 pounds, eating my favorite foods every single meal. Chocolate croissants, Nana's spaghetti, warm sourdough bread with butter, until one day I woke up and accidentally tried on a pair of jeans I hadn't worn in decades. I couldn't believe how I looked in the mirror. In total, I lost an amazing 57 pounds of baby weight around my hips, thighs, arms, and belly. 10 years of stubborn love handles gone, all while eating carbs at every meal. I had the body of my wedding day: tight arms, slender hips, and a flat tummy. My husband couldn't keep his eyes or hands off of me. That night, we made love like it was our wedding night. Afterwards, we lay there cuddling, staring deep into each other's eyes. smiling, laughing, tickling each other. We were us again. My friends could see my newfound body and energy and begged me for my secret. But I was hesitant, because even though I want to share this miraculous discovery with every overweight man and woman who was frustrated, I first wanted to make sure that my miraculous transformation wasn't some weird fluke, but instead would work for anyone no matter their age, how overweight they were, and how many times they had failed to lose weight in the past. So I talked with Nina, and we got together with our own little test group. Some were my friends, others were people we knew from church, and while they all looked different, they all needed to meet our 4 criteria. 1. You need to be at least 30 years old. 2. You need to have at least 15 pounds of jiggly fat that you can't seem to get rid of. 3. You need to have tried to lose weight in the past but couldn't. 4. You need to like eating carbs. All in all, we had 28 people signed up. We ran our little experiment for 2 months, about the same amount of time it took me to lose all my baby weight. And the results shocked us. Every single person, no matter their age or gender, lost all their excess weight, with a few women losing over 48 pounds. Most of them looked like they'd aged 20 years in reverse. And all of them needed to buy new clothes after our experiment. No matter their age, history, gender, metabolism, or genetics, this miraculous weight loss formula worked for everyone. The best part? Everyone was eating their favorite off-limit foods: pizza, cake, donuts, rice, and potatoes. And as long as they stuck to our 5-second appetizer of 1 pill before each meal, every delicious food just slid right off them without sticking to their waist, hips, or thighs. After my little experiment, I knew it worked. Not just for me, but for everyone, including their families. My daughter Jessica, for the first time, was eating again and smiling. She was happy, vibrant, and rebellious like any healthy teenager, and looked up to me for the first time. All because I was able to take control of my weight. I begged Nina to let me help her share this with every woman in need, which is why I'm sharing this incredible discovery with you here today. I want you to be the next amazing success story, because I know how hard it is to try every diet and exercise program for weeks and months only to end up back where you started. I know how hard it is to watch your husband go from being unable to keep his hands off of you when you were first married to being your best friend who's overly polite and never in the mood. I know how hard it is to wonder if you'll just be known as the fat mom for the rest of your life. But for the first time ever, your future doesn't have to be like that. Because today we have something that gets to the root cause of excess weight gain. Introducing Amyl. Amyl is the world's first and only weight loss solution that targets the real root cause of stubborn belly fat, your high amylase levels, and brings them back into balance. So, if you want to remove nagging hip, arm, and thigh fat, to shrink your belly to reveal the tight, toned figure you haven't seen since your 20s, and finally feel confident and happy in your body, all while eating your favorite delicious carb-filled meals you grew up with, the Amyl is the solution for you, no matter your age, weight, or how many times you failed in the past. Just a few days after you start taking Amyl, you'll start to notice how you look slimmer in the mirror, and how the stubborn fat you've been carrying on your hips, thighs, and arms start to vanish, almost like someone's taking an eraser to your belly fat. Next, you'll see the scale number move down. Friends, family, and colleagues will notice this new aura of happiness that seems to radiate from you. They'll wonder what your secret is, especially when they see you eating your favorite foods every day. You'll tell them, and they won't believe it's that simple, even though it really is. Simply take 1 capsule of Amyl before every meal, like an appetizer, and let it work its magic. It won't take long before you're slipping into your old clothes, the ones you wore in your 20s. You're getting compliments about how amazing you look. Men go out of their way to do things for you, buy you coffee, hold open doors, just like they used to. And your husband or partner can't keep his eyes or hands off of you, and every time he hugs you, you shrink into his arms. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? Women all over the world are finally getting rid of their nagging belly fat without diet, exercise, or expensive and dangerous surgeries. And now you can too. The magic comes from 4 of the most powerful amylase blockers on the planet to help you return your amylase levels back to normal. The first amylase guard comes from Nina's Japanese heritage and has been praised by television doctor Dr. Oz for its miraculous weight loss benefits. It's called white kidney bean. Nina told me that it caught her eye when she saw a review published in the British Journal of Nutrition, which showed folks taking white kidney beans lost nearly 22 pounds more than the group who didn't take it. But that was just the beginning, because another study involving 38 women over 12 weeks shocked the world. Now, this wasn't a run-of-the-mill study. This was a randomized, double-blind, and placebo-controlled study, the most accurate kind. There were 2 groups, one that took white kidney bean extract and the other that didn't. And after 12 weeks, the researchers found that the group who ate this 5-second Japanese appetizer lost over 700% more weight than the placebo group. But that's not the best part. According to a review of the study done by Nourished Academy, these results represent a healthy weight loss program simply by restricting calories absorbed by starch, carbs, just like amylase does when it's back down to normal levels. The next super nutrient comes from a rare Japanese vegetable that's also been in Nina's family for generations. It's called bitter melon extract, and according to researchers, the best amylase regulator in existence. In fact, one study published in the Journal of Complementary and Alternative Medicine found bitter melon was able to inhibit amylase enzymes up to 69%, and another study published in Nutrition Journal found women who supplemented with bitter melon extract reduced their waistline significantly compared to the placebo group, which means that once you add this amylase guard to your diet in the exact scientific amounts, you'll find it easier and faster to drop the unwanted weight without giving up your favorite foods. So you can finally turn back the clock and rock your hot clothes of your 20s. Next, we included another incredible fat-erasing nutrient called chromium picolinate, proven to help improve fat loss by 553% when combined with other amylase blockers. And in another study from the University of Vermont, folks who supplemented with chromium picolinate had significant weight loss and reduction in belly fat compared to the placebo group. Amazing, isn't it? The last fat-melting amylase blocker we included is called berberine. It's been used for thousands of years in traditional Chinese medicine, and modern science finally confirms how powerful it is. In fact, researchers from Healthline state it's one of the few supplements shown to be as effective as a pharmaceutical drug. In one Korean study, researchers found that berberine supplementation stopped the growth of new fat cells. And yet another more impressive study involving 37 people showed that berberine helped participants lose 15% of their body mass index, or BMI. That's the equivalent of losing 4 to 6 dress sizes. The researchers believe that the weight loss is caused by improved function of fat-regulating hormones and enzymes like amylase. By now, you're probably asking yourself how you can get your hands on Amylguard today. To be honest, it's very difficult for the general public to get Amylguard. The special super nutrients inside must be cultivated in a sanitized, state-of-the-art facility and then kept fresh through a proprietary process. Every batch is third-party lab tested to ensure that everything is clean and pure. And each serving comes in small, easy-to-swallow, non-GMO capsules shipped fast right to your front door. There's no dangerous stimulants or weird ingredients either. Those things can be like rolling the dice with your health, and that is not something we would ever do. And because Amyl helps you lose weight with virtually zero effort, pretty much everyone who uses it keeps on asking for more of the stuff. But as word continues to spread, Amyl is also becoming popular in the European Union, which is putting even more of a strain on production, especially since with today's supply chain issues, it can take up months to custom create each batch. As a result, out of stock is almost happening. But if you're reading these words right now, count yourself lucky, because in the next few minutes, I'll share how. Today, and on this page only, you can get a bottle of Amyl for as little as 93 cents a day. See, when we first formulated Amyl on our own, buying all the fat-melting nutrients from remote locations around the world, each GMP-certified and third-party lab-tested bottle ended up costing around $149. Which is extremely fair, especially since it's less than you'll pay for doctor's visits, strange diets, prescription medication, or dangerous weight loss surgeries. And yet, unlike those, Amyl is the only solution that helps you lower your amylase levels to normal levels to help you lose weight for good and keep it off. Plus, considering each capsule contains the purest and most bioavailable form of these ingredients in existence, in the exact dosages you need to return your amylase levels back to normal, $149 is a steal. But despite all that, I want to help everyone take back control of their body and lose weight effortlessly, which means everyone deserves access to Amyl. That's why if you act right now and make the life-changing decision to join the 134,567 women who are dropping their weight and dress sizes in mere days, you can take an entire 60% off and claim your very own supply of Amyl for just $59 per bottle. But that's just the start, because thanks to our manufacturer, Nutriville, who's helping us secure everything at an even lower cost and cut out the middleman, and every 6-bottle order includes free expedited shipping, plus 2 free bonuses worth over $110. Bonus number 1, valued at $67. Skinny Carb Cookbook. This delicious cookbook is filled with tons of skinny carb recipes and snacks that let you stuff your face and still lose weight. Skinny grilled cheese sandwiches that set off firecrackers of flavor in your mouth while slimming down your thighs and arms. Flaky, gooey, skinny double chocolate brownies that help you turn up your metabolism and ignite your fat-burning furnace. Layer skinny jello that satisfies even the most ravenous sweet tooth while blowtorching your belly fat rolls. Plus, you'll also learn about the 3 living nutrient foods that help keep carbs from ending up around your waistline. Yes, that means more chocolate cake, spaghetti, and fries without feeling guilty. In fact, you'll be stuffing your face once you learn these simple living nutrient foods, because every off-limit food will no longer be working against you, but instead with your body helping to slim down with every bite. No counting calories or carbs, just simple skinny carb meals that slim you down one bite at a time. But if that wasn't enough, you'll also get free access to bonus number 2. Bonus number 2 is valued at $47. Skinny Solution Meditations. Bonus number 2 contains 4 powerful meditations that help reprogram your subconscious to lose weight effortlessly. You'll also learn how to program your mind for effortless weight loss while feeling great in all aspects of life. Yes, that means less stress from unresolved emotional blocks and uncontrollable cravings. Breaking the unhealthy patterns you've built around your food and body. This will allow you to finally experience the real beauty beyond the mirror and society's unrealistic standards. rewire your brain to stop the urge to binge eat every time stress comes into your life so you can finally feel in control again. Calm overthinking and monkey mind for better sleep and sexier, healthier you. Yes, you get this absolutely free when you pick up the Ultra Savings 6-bottle bundle today. If that wasn't amazing enough, we're going to 100% guarantee you lose weight or your money back. You can secure a bottle of Amyl for just $29, and every order of 3 or 6 bottles includes free expedited shipping. See, if you're anything like I was, you're probably a bit skeptical. I completely understand. We've all been lied to our entire lives by diet and health professionals who want to sell us the next greatest weight loss diet and exercise plan. The $100 billion weight loss industry would go bankrupt if they told you there's a quick, easy, and natural way to burn belly fat and curb hunger. So, to show you how confident Nina and I believe that this formula will change your life, and so you have absolutely no risk, I'm prepared to protect your order with a 100% 365 days money-back guarantee that works like this. If at any point in the next 6 months after using Amyl you're unhappy with your results, I will refund you every cent. No questions asked. Simply email or call us and I'll personally give you a full refund. You don't even have to send the bottle back. I don't know anyone else willing to make such a bold promise like that. Because the truth is, if Amyl doesn't work for you, I don't want to keep your money anyway. But I'm willing to risk everything because I know the life-changing transformation that will occur once you experience the weight loss powers of Amyl. Does that sound fair? If so, then here's why you should buy 3 or 6 bottles. Since we get to save when shipping bulk orders, we feel it's only fair to pass on the savings, up to $228 for 3, on to you when you order Amyl today. As soon as you choose your package above, whether it's 1 bottle, 3 bottles, or the smartest option, 6 bottles for the biggest discount, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Just fill out your information and we'll begin working on your order. Within 5 business days, the mailman will ring your doorbell and hand you your 6 bottles of Amyl. Simply open the bottle and take 1 easy-to-swallow capsule before every meal, like your very own weight loss appetizer, and watch as your body transforms before your eyes. Within the first week of taking Amyl, you'll feel lighter and happier. The scale, for the first time in a long time, will show a new low number. After the second week, old clothes will feel loose and your midsection will start to shrink. By week 3, your energy levels will return. Your zest for life creates a spark as you continue to drop weight. And after week 4, your friends and family probably won't recognize you. They'll be begging you for your secret to such an incredible transformation. This is one of the easiest decisions of your life. And remember, you have the rest of your life to try it out and see if it works for you and keep the weight off for good. Which means that if you're mildly curious, you might as well pick up 6 bottles today. It's risk-free. Over the past 2 years, we've learned how quickly life can change, how quickly things can be taken away, which is why right now is the time to take action and take back control of your weight and your life. Remember, this webpage is the only place you can get Amyl. Don't bother looking for us on Amazon or at Walmart. We're not affiliated with these profit-centered corporations where it's easy to turn a blind eye on quality. We're a small-town American-run family business who wants to help others find a natural way to lose weight naturally, without dangerous diets, useless exercise, or expensive prescription medications. We're here for people like you who are ready to make a real permanent change. Unfortunately, we know that the majority of people who make it this far quit and go back to what they know. Even though they've seen the remarkable evidence, heard the success stories, and know that there's literally nothing like Amyl on the market, they fear that it's too good to be true, and that makes sense. Especially when you consider all the lies you've been told by billion-dollar weight loss corporations. and out of fear of being disappointed or wasting their time, they turn away and miss out on what truly is a gift from God. But for those of you who really see the miracle in this message, you know that you should never pass up an opportunity like this. You can tell that Amyl is the real deal. And something this life-changing will be sold out soon for several reasons. The first is, number one, Amyl is in high demand. Amyl is the only product on the market containing our proprietary blend of the 5 weight loss super nutrients at clinically relevant dosages to restore your amylase enzyme back to normal. That is why most of our customers pick up 6 bottles at a time and then come back for 6 more bottles just to make sure they have enough supply on hand to get the maximum fat melting power, which makes it incredibly hard for a small family-run business like us to keep Amyl in stock, especially when you consider number 2. The 5 natural ingredients in Amyl are difficult to get a hold of. When we created Amyl we made a promise to use only the very best organically grown ingredients to maximize the belly slimming results. As a result, some of the unique ingredients inside Amyl are incredibly hard to source since they only grow in specific remote locations across the globe, like white kidney bean, which is abundant only in southern Italy, making it difficult to find, or bitter melon extract, which is only found in remote areas of Japan. And that's just a couple of the rare natural ingredients we use to create Amyl which means our supply could dry up at any time, especially with the supply chain issues going on today. But that's not all, because after we source the best ingredients from around the world, number 3, every batch of Amyl goes through a rigorous quality production process. Each bottle of Amyl is produced at a GMP-certified and FDA-approved facility right here in the United States. That way we can ensure that each and every pill is filled with clean, safe ingredients. But if that wasn't enough, we went above and beyond to hire a third-party laboratory to analyze every single batch of Amyl and certify that every ingredient we put on the label is included in every pill you take. While this process keeps you safe and ensures you get the best weight loss results, it can often take up to 3 months to produce a new batch of Amyl And if the constant high demand, tough to resource ingredients, and rigorous production and review process weren't enough, number 4, the weight loss industry threatens to shut us down. Greedy weight loss industry billionaires have gotten rich off prescription meds, diets, and useless exercise programs for decades, preying on honest, hardworking Americans like you and me. In order to protect their riches and keep filling their greedy pockets, they will stop at nothing to shut down authentic companies like Amyl who seek to free the American people and give you back the power. As a result, our operations, including this very website, is under threat of being attacked and shut down due to their enormous economic and political influence. These 4 reasons make it impossible to ensure that Amyl will continue to be available to the public tomorrow, let alone 6 months from now, which is probably why most Amyl customers stock up on our 6-month supply, so they never have to worry about out of stocks. Order the 6-bottle option for the biggest savings. At this point, you have a very important choice that will lead to 2 very different futures. One of them gives you a future where you love your new hot body, feeling proud and sexy when you look in the mirror, looking and feeling 10 years younger, all without having ever to suffer through another complicated diet or exercise program, and one that protects you from unnecessary health complications. The other path is much darker because you can continue down the same cold, dark path you're probably on right now. So pay attention, because you're about to make a choice about which future you want. Option number 1, you can exit this page and go back to exercising, dieting, and following mainstream advice, and maybe lose a little bit of weight, but you'll most certainly regain it soon after. If you choose this option, you'll never be able to just eat what you want. You'll be a prisoner to the weight loss industry, stuck on the hamster wheel of yo-yo dieting and endless amounts amounts of frustration and self-doubt. I'm sure you already know how bleak this future really is because you've been down that path before. That feeling of being trapped inside a body you hate, feeling hopeless and guilt when you have something other than a salad for dinner, only to see the scale go up and wonder why it's so hard for you to get to your slim figure, and more importantly, keep it. That crushing feeling of the weight piling on week after week, wondering when you lost yourself, your love of life. And that feeling that you're failing as a parent, as a role model for your kids by putting your health at risk, that every day you let it drag on could be your last, and that you're destined to be fat for the rest of your life, no matter what you try. I know you don't want that, because the truth is, if you've made it this far through my message, I know you're sick of being on the weight loss hamster wheel, and you're tired of failing diets, useless exercise, and being the fat mom, pretending that everything is all right even though you're crying inside, and wondering if your husband is really thinking about you every time he looks at you, or if he's really thinking about some Instagram model. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is the person you become. Excess belly fat can eat away at a person's soul, turning them into a ghost just floating through life that causes a ripple effect all the way down to your children, which is why I want to show you option 2. Give Amyl a risk-free try today and imagine what you'll look like a few weeks from now, staring into the mirror with a smile so big because of how slim you look. Your stomach and hips are so slender, you're not sure it's even you. You look 10 years younger. Wrinkles that were once there seem to have magically disappeared. Old clothes fit again, and you feel good, better than you have in years. Never again will you have to follow a boring, useless diet, restricting yourself from eating all your favorite foods. Never again will you have to suffer from low energy that sucks the soul out of your will to live. Never again will you wonder about what other people are thinking about you, or whether your partner is still attracted to you. You've read this far, so it's clear you are serious about your health and your future and losing the excess flab infesting your waistline. But the decision is ultimately yours. If you don't see the sold out button below, consider yourself lucky because we still have some Amyl left in stock. But it could be gone at any moment. Remember, there are no hidden charges or subscriptions. Everything is just a one-time payment, and you're protected by our lifetime money-back guarantee. So even if you try out Amyl for 6 months and don't love the results of your new sexy body, simply let us know and I'll personally refund you every single penny. There's absolutely no risk, which is why even if you're mildly curious, you might as well try Amyl today. So if you're ready to step into your new slim, sexy body that has your partner all over you and your friends are jealous of your hot new body, order the 6-bottle package below now, or whichever package suits you best before supplies run out. I look forward to hearing about your success.